Hello and welcome to Greg Mitchell Field inside Vonleh C. Ashford Stadium for a big weekend of lacrosse. Today it's the number 4 ranked Missouri Valley College Vikings against the number 9 St. Gregory's University Cavaliers. Hello everyone, I'm Chaz Meddy alongside Brian McLaughlin. And Brian, it's the big weekend for both teams in terms of the youth of the program and in terms of building some structure in terms of national also recognition for these two programs.
Both of these programs are young programs. Missouri Valley in their third year, St. Gregory's in their second year, first year of NAIA. So it's a lot of youth, a lot of young, but it's going to be a great lacrosse game today.
And a lot is riding on this game in particular because it's a conference game for both teams in the KCAC.
KCAC game. Missouri Valley coming in here 2-0. St. Gregory's coming in here, coming off a nice big win against Ottawa. It's just going to be a pivotal point right now, midway through your conference schedule, and see where everything ends up.
St. Gregory's has a guy, they go through the starting lineups here in a second, by the name of James Smith. He's a sophomore attacker out of Edmond, Oklahoma, and he has been nothing short of spectacular for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, he's been spectacular for them all year, being one of their leading players, especially in that game against Ottawa. Really stepped up big.
And as you mentioned, the game against Ottawa, St. Gregory's trailed in that game late. About 6:43 to play, they trailed 13-12. Then Smith notched the game tying goal, then notched the game winning goal. Put the Cavaliers ahead in that game, and they went on to win that one as well. Also for Smith, in his last 22 games, this goes back to last season, 22 games, 20 hat tricks.
That's impressive. That's a lot of goals, a lot of scoring opportunities. So he'll definitely be somebody that we want to watch out for today.
And one of the things that both coaches stressed heading into the game, I talked to him before the game started, was for the Cavaliers, some possession time, getting Smith some opportunities.
Yeah, Smith is going to have to face a very tough Vikings defense, but if he's able to get past, the tight defense, it's definitely going to be a powerhouse and could potentially get past Minchell today.
And for Missouri Valley, the key to keeping Smith in check is possession time, and that starts with face-offs. And the man who is heading into the center now, number 29, Jake Berg, who has been nothing short of fantastic for Missouri Valley regarding face-offs.
Berg has been spectacular all season, and I expect him to have another big game today.
Quick run-through for the starters. For Valley, number 22, Jack Smith is in there. Number 34, Sean Goodell. Number 3, John Milani, as, again, Jake Berg wins and rolls right through. Save by Tanner Reese. Nice block, but Valley maintains possession, and Milani to the side of the crease, throws it back to Sean Goodell, and they work the ball behind the net. Continuing with the starters, number 20, Dan Block. Number 29, Jake Berg, as the ball comes back out and works its way back to Milani. Number 23, also a starter, Brandon Gallagher. Number 28 for Missouri Valley, Alex Albrecht. 37, Matt Heinzerling. Number 9, Andrew Legg. And number 18 in goal, Brandon Minchell. Around now, the left side of the crease, dumps it off, and almost turned over. Valley does turn it over. And number 2, Matthew Hyde picks it up for the Cavaliers, and they work it forward.
Going back to that face-off, Jake Berg with another win. He's been spectacular all season, and nothing short of that today.
And that's not to take anything from St. Gregory's. These are the number 1, number 2 face-off men in the country right now. Berg, number 1, and their specialist, I missed the number, save there by Minchell. And Valley will work it forward, and we stay scoreless with 13:30 to go in the first period.
That was a nice save by Minchell. Almost a crease violation on St. Gregory's, but ended up being able to step out at the last minute.
And they work it now into the attack zone. And Valley going forward. Long pass. Little high for Milani, and it goes out, and the ball will go to the Cavaliers. For St. Gregory's, as they move the ball forward, their starters, we talked James Smith, number 10. We'll talk about him a lot. Sean McCullough, number 16. Number 51, Anthony Robinson. Number 1, Richard Fromdel. Number 2, Matthew Hyde. Number 11, Nathan Foreman. Number 9, Keaton Morzov. Number 14, Joey Provost. as the ball goes out and now belongs to Valley. Number 27, Tyler Marchand, and in goal, number 0, Tanner Reese, a freshman out of Prosper, Texas. Up now the left wing into the attack zone for the Vikings. And that is Dan Block working it forward now to the left side, and Milani behind the crease. And over to the right side, and number 1, Greg Ferrone with the ball. Gregory's really packing that defense in. Ferrone charging forward. Feed. Oh, behind the back shot. I don't know if it got a stick or if it hit the post, but nifty move by number 34, Sean Goodell, on that try. Cavaliers lob it into the attack zone. And that's number 1, Richard Fromdel, with the ball. And he's being hounded by Block. Number 18 carrying it now. That's Chris Lester. And he's going to work it behind the crease, and he's being watched by Brandon Gallagher. Up top now. Working a little weave. Valley also packing that defense in, marking up their man. Again, for Valley, the big key is contain James Smith, and that pass looked like it was directed toward him, a little bit awry, and Valley comes away with it. Good defensive hustle by 18, Lester there. Try to steal that ball before it could be passed. Out front, now to the left side, that is Milani. Working it now back to number 22, Jack Smith. And Valley will bring it back out. And Ferrone controls. Left side, Milani. Back to Ferrone. Cross to Ryan Barnes. And now running behind the crease is number 5, Josh Fletcher. And loses possession. Didn't catch it cleanly, it looks like. Fletcher with a big stick. Turnover. Shot by Milani. Saved by Reese. And the ball is loose out in front, and number 8, Brian Barnes, comes away with it. So quick action there, but Valley comes up empty. These are 2 really good teams, and one thing that's kind of surprising about the start so far, as we're with 9:35 to go in the first period, both teams score a lot of goals.
Yeah, exactly. Both teams score a lot of goals, and they really like to score them early. And we're a few minutes into it now, and this hasn't been that many shots and chances. So
Milani with a shot there, and Reese kicked it aside. Ball loose and out, and it'll stay with Valley. Milani picks it up and works it back in to Barnes. Barnes couldn't corral it, and the Cavaliers come away with it.
Been a few sloppy turnovers by Missouri Valley so far, but hopefully they are able to, figure it out and get those crisp passes back.
Both coaches, talking to them before the game, stressed possession time. Both coaches stressed face-off wins. We've had 1 face-off so far, and we're almost 6.5 minutes deep into the first period. Peterson works it around to the left side, now across, a skip pass basically to Lester. Lester running the right side, now behind the crease, as the eyes of lane. Pass, Louis, it looked inside for James Smith, couldn't get it to him, and a kick, and the ball goes to Valley. Running the right side now, that's number 23, Brendan Gallagher, and he'll turn it over, and then work it behind on the right side. for Goodell. Now back to the right side on the top for number 32, first time calling his name, Carson Brzezinski. And turnover, ball goes to St. Gregory's. Another turnover for Missouri Valley. Long pass. Ooh, almost got it. Milani with a nice reach. And Matthew Hyde has it for St. Gregory's. Block, hacking at him. Working now to the left side. And a little almost basketball weave there for a second. And it comes to Richard Frondel. A lot of Oklahoma players on this St. Gregory's roster, and it's in its second program, or second year of the program. And one of the things that head coach Brian Seaman talked about before the game was the approach that St. Gregory's is taking to building its lacrosse program. It's very similar to the approach that Missouri Valley took in building its program. Valley in its third year, St. Gregory's in its second year. And Coach Seaman said that when the Cavaliers were starting to talk about building the program, Seaman was in Indiana Tech, saw what Missouri Valley College and Coach Tevin Tataro was doing in terms of building the program here, saw the immediate success, and then kind of modeled it after that.
Yeah, both being young programs, and Seaman at Indiana Tech 3 years ago, so being able to watch Missouri Valley, who was one of those NAIA teams that really took the leap of faith first in some aspects and moved up, and both have been using the MCLA platform as a way to build their programs as well, and it's interesting to see how it's been turning out.
And the success at Valley, Seaman said that he knew that it could be a success in Oklahoma as well. And Kevin Tataro said before the game, in terms of comparing the two programs, there's a lot of lacrosse talent. People traditionally think, and I'll be one of them, that you think lacrosse, you think it's up and down the Eastern Seaboard, and very popular that way. But there's a lot of talent throughout the nation, and it's a growing sport.
It's the fastest growing sport in America, as many people believe. And, it being a predominantly East Coast sport has really trickled out to the Midwest and the West Coast.
There's a wicked shot by number 5, Josh Fletcher, from that right side. Ball stays with Valley. Oh, we've got an air horn. That's awesome. Shot and a goal. Number 49, Anthony Schindel. Is it a goal?
No, it looked like it went through the net, but apparently they didn't call a goal. It would have been a nice goal, and Austin Schindel would have put Valley up 1-0, but ended up not counting.
Did it go through the? I saw that movement.
It looked like it went through the net. Unless if it went through the back, behind the back of the net, I thought it went in. Too bad we can't get video replay.
Yeah, well, we do have video replay actually.
Well, we do. But the refs can't use that.
Nope. So Valley will try again, attacking from the left side. Work it around to Milani. Now behind for Jack Smith. And he'll bring it up to the left side and then bring it back up top. And they cycle it around, looking for an opening. In terms of offensive strategy, just casually looking, St. Gregory's likes to plant Smith in the center. That one is a goal, and that is number 49, Austin Schindel.
Yeah, Austin.
So we were just a little bit premature in the calling the goal.
Austin Schindel, on that mistake of a goal, ends up putting up Valley up 1-0. First semester here at Valley, transfer student coming on in. Big goal with 4 minutes and 56 seconds left in the first.
And we'll look at it here on the live stream replay as they get ready for the setup, the face-off here. And it's be Jake Berg as we see the very tail end of Schindel's goal. And it's 1-0 Missouri Valley. This time Berg loses the face-off, and that is Matthew Hyde with it. And they work in the attack zone, but it gets plowed over by Brendan Gallagher. And Valley in the attack zone. Number 28 all the way down. He shoots and scores.
Now that's something spectacular right there. Oh, Alex Albrecht with a goal.
Albrecht just charged down the field and got it. And we'll take a look at the replay of his march down the field. A good 60-yard run right into the face of Tanner Reese. the defense didn't step up, and not a whole lot there that Reese could do, and that's a pretty easy goal for him.
Yeah, nice goal by Albrecht. You know, you usually don't see, you know, long sticks scoring goals unless you're an LSM, but coming all the way down the field to score. He's going to remember that one for a while there.
2-0, two very quick goals. So we went about 10 minutes and some change into the period with some shots and not a lot of other action. But then Valley scores two quick ones to take a 2-0 lead. St. Gregory's with the ball, and they'll work it up front. I mentioned I would mention his name a lot. I don't think I've said it more than a couple times yet. James Smith, as you see him, he's about the 20-yard line of the football marks. Hasn't had a whole lot of touches, if he's had any at all.
I think he's only had a few touches, but really hasn't been able to figure out the Vikings defense yet. So it's very interesting to see how it is. Quick note here is you see Indiana Tech has come, bus has arrived, and they're going to come watch the game. Both St. Gregory's plays Indiana Tech here tomorrow, and the Vikings then on Sunday morning at 9 a.m.
Ball is loose, and it's going to be, nope, possession's still not there. And another hit from number 23, Brendan Gallagher. He's just plowing people over. Indiana Tech, we mentioned them briefly a few minutes ago before the flurry of goals. Brian Seaman, the head coach at St. Gregory's, was a coach at Indiana Tech when Kevin Tataro started the program at Missouri Valley. Indiana Tech here this weekend. And oh, by the way, that's the number 3 team in the nation in NAIA.
Yeah, you know, Indiana Tech has been a surprise team, I would say. You know, really one of those relatively new programs, under the radar, and has now the number 3 team in the nation has really stepped up.
Anthony Robinson with it, and he flings it out, and that ball is loose and will go over and now belongs to Missouri Valley. Touched up, Milani. Nope, they're going to whistle that. They're going to have to bring it back. And they'll bring it back and restart. 2-0 the score. 3 minutes and some change to go in the first period. There's a shot save by Reese. That was Josh Fletcher with the shot. Reese brought the legs together and kicked it aside. Ball out of bounds, and it's Valley's ball, and that is number 8, Ryan Barnes, running forward, and he's being uncontested. Shot saved by Reese again, and Valley's getting some chances late in the first period.
Yeah, the tempo is seeming to change in Valley's favor right now with 2 goals. Quick 2 goals with about 5 minutes left to go, and
both coaches stress possession time. One of the things that Brian Seaman did mention before the game was not getting beat in transition because Valley likes to push the tempo and likes to run. That second goal was a push in transition for Missouri Valley. There's a shot and a goal for, that's not Smith because there he is entering the picture, number 13, Chandler Peterson, a freshman midfielder out of Edmond, Oklahoma. And we'll look at it on the Valley Sports Network replay, and we'll see how that goal was set up. A little dance behind the crease. Out in front, and just, boy, that's one-man effort. Took a shot there at the end, but he put it in the back of the net, and it's now a 2-1 game. So Berg now facing off against Matthew High, 1 and 2 in the nation in terms of face-off percentage for wins. I think it's been 2-1 in favor of St. Gregory's, and they'll pull away with this one as well. Cavaliers looking for a chance to tie. A little bit of a shot fake, and working out left side shot. That's wide. And goes out and stays with Cavaliers. 1:55 to play, first period. Minchell ran it down and then had to give it back over. Now on the right side of the crease. Out front, there's Smith. Put Smith out up top now instead of having him in the middle. He'll work his way back in. Shot saved by Minshall, and Valley works it forward. Here they are in transition, running the field. Shot and a lot on that by Andrew Legg, who just went screaming up the field. And again, Valley in transition beats the Cavalier defense down the field.
Another defenseman getting a nice break. Albrecht was able to find the back of the net. Legg not so much. But that is something that St. Gregory's is going to have to work on if they want any chance of winning this game, is not letting the transition be as bad as it has been.
A lot of hitting going on right now. Fun to see.
What
and an over-the-shoulder pass. Does this work out? It does not work out for Valley. Brendan Gallagher just took that ball and flung it over his shoulder on the sideline. And Valley had a chance to keep possession and didn't. And then the turnover here. Block comes away with it and feeds it forward. And there's Gallagher running it forward. And again, steps up, shot, Reese, save. Reese getting his money's worth first period. Again, it's a 2-1 game. There's 30 seconds to go. These are teams that can score. In fact, St. Gregory's at one game scored 32 goals. Valley against Benedictine a couple weeks ago, heading into spring break, scored 21 goals. These are two teams that can put up a lot of goals. We have 3 combined with 28.3 to go in the first period.
I think, with both these teams being high-scoring teams, it's a testament right now to the defense and both goaltenders being able to come up with big saves so far. Minshaw with a few saves, only letting one get past, and then Reese, multiple saves on goals that, Valley usually would be able to score on.
Both goaltenders standing tall right now. Both defenses packing in, closing down those lanes. I think the term that Kevin Totaro used was make sure that when you're on the ball, you're marked up, and when you're off the ball, you're marked up, and staying with the guys. So also interesting to note, now they don't count toward the NAI standings. This St. Gregory's University team has 2 losses on the season. And I mentioned at the top of the cast that James Smith is 20 of his last 22 in terms of scoring hat tricks. Those 2 games, he didn't get the hat trick. Those are the 2 losses. Held scoreless in one game and held the 1 goal in another. And he's a big part. And talking to Coach Brian Seaman before the game about the impact that James Smith has had. He's a sophomore. He's been a captain since a few months into the program began. And Seaman just couldn't say enough good things about James Smith. Natural leader, helps carry the program, and he's been instrumental for the program so far. Held in check today by Valley, but what a talent he is for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, still plenty of time for him to be able to really spread his wings a bit and potentially figure out the Valley defense. Valley defense has been really on top of their game today.
And we mentioned the impact of Smith late in the game against Ottawa, last time out for St. Gregory's, in which he scored the tying goal and the go-ahead goal for St. Gregory's in that 4th period. Anthony Robinson with it, being hounded by number 37, Matt Heinzerling. And the ball is lost, and it's going to get picked. Nope, not Berg. Chasing it as that Berg. Berg couldn't get it. And it'll be St. Gregory's ball.
Berg with a nice effort, just not able to hit it out early enough, but good effort there.
Down to 3, 2, 1. Wild shot, wide right by Smith. We get to call his name finally, and that is the end of the first period. Good defensive game from 2 teams that put up a lot of goals. Normally, it's 2-1. We're at the end of the first period. We're going to take a quick break. Second period coming up. Welcome back to Greg Mitchell Field inside Bowling C. Ashford Stadium. Chaz May alongside Brian McLaughlin. And it's the St. Gregory's Cavaliers, the Missouri Valley College Vikings. 2-1, Vikings lead. Start now of the second period. Face off. That's not Berg in there. That is number 816, Tyler Wallenberg, taking that face off. But St. Gregory's comes away with it. And that is Chandler Peterson with the ball. He has the Cavalier tally for the game. And a penalty coming up against Valley. It's going to be on number 37, man, Heinzerling. And a second penalty flag will cross the way. Deep shot. Smith couldn't handle it. Number 4, Jake Henderson, kind of whiffed on his shot. And let's see what the calls are going to be. Is it 2 guys going off? Heinzerling is going off.
Looks like Heinzerling's going to serve.
And Wallenberg also, he walked off, but he's not in the penalty box. Or is he?
It looked like it might have just been a late flag.
Late flag on
just
the side.
to make sure that the other side of the field saw it. So.
Okay. So the ball is going to be inbound. Let's just call it the left 10-yard line of the football field. It's at the goal line. And Valley will be a man down. And St. Gregory's will have the extra attack. That's Hyde working it to the side of the crease. Now up top. And that's Richard Fromdel behind. To the left side now. Smith shot. Didn't get it much on it. It might have been partially deflected. And Valley gets it and will take over. And work their way probably slowly up the field. Well, they're pushing the ball a little defensive pressure. That's Gallagher forward. And into the attack zone, and they'll work it back to Berg.
Tyler Jack with the ball now.
And he's being chased by a couple of St. Gregory's players. Gets his stick whacked, and number 9, Keaton Marzolf, picks it up, and it's a turnover. And the Cavaliers will take possession as Garrett Bannister brings it forward. And he passes it to Frondel. And we thought about a shot for a second. Pass inside, good stick, tipped. I can't quite make out the number of who tipped it. Looks like number 9 with a stick leg was the one who had it. Forward now, Giles Manafo. Forward, and that ball's loose, and it's being picked up by number 34, Sean Goodell. And it's one against the Red Army there for a second, and he loses control of the ball, and it's picked up by Reese.
Continuing to see the sloppy play by Valley, not being able to make their passes and really losing the ball when they have the possession. And possession, as both coaches talked about it earlier, is the key to winning this game today.
1 against 5 there, I can't imagine would have been the best of strategies in terms of the Viking. I mean, do you think pull it out maybe? There's just a sea of red there.
Yeah.
Frondel behind the crease. Eyeing a passing lane. Ooh, there's a shot right in front. Good save by Minshall. Ball is loose back to St. Gregory's. And there's a shot outside, and Minshall once again in good position and makes the save. Forward now to Berg. Berg gets it across the center line. And to number 32, Carson Brzezinski. And a couple guys chasing after him. Now to the right side for a block. Back to number 45, Owen Sorobi. And they'll work the left side now. Behind the cage. Back to the right side. That's blocked. Jack Smith with it. And Sorobi now eyeing passing lanes. Good defensive effort by both teams so far. Milani with a shot. It's deflected and will go out. Ball stays with Valley, and inbounding will be Schindel. Schindel has a goal. One of the 2 Missouri Valley goals on the afternoon. Pass in front. Ooh, try to bounce it in. Did Smith, and it was blocked by Reese. And here come the Cavaliers. Across the center line to Fromdel on the left side. And he gets it to number 16, McCullough. And a little slow and set up. Number 18, Chris Lester with the ball, and he'll pass it across to McCullough. Working now the left side. There's a little small rotation. Smith camped back on the 20-yard line. Valley doing a good job pressuring the ball and keeping an eye on Smith inside. Across the way, that's Fromdel, being watched by Gallagher. Gets by Gallagher briefly and works it up top to McCullough. Out to Robinson, out to the left side to Smith. Smith checked by Block, loses the ball momentarily, and it's picked up by St. Gregory's number 13, Lester. Smith tried to make something happen. Two white shirts were there. Valley on the white shirts, orange numerals, orange trim. St. Gregory's red shirts, white numerals, blue trim. Fromdel now to McCullough. McCullough looking inside. Smith, not the strongest of shots, blocked by Minshall. And Valley comes away. That's leg with it, with possession. High pass, and Block did a good job of coming away with the ball. Pass not caught cleanly by number 6, Ben Boyer. And it's loose. And St. Gregory's had it for a second. And then, big check. It looked like right below the chin by number 23, Brandon Albrecht. And
big hits coming up here.
Big hits. Big check. Number 4, Jake Henderson got knocked down.
It shows the physicality of this game today, that the officials are letting it be physical, not calling the early flags, and really letting the teams battle out today.
And both sides are giving, and both sides are taking it. It seems to be, if there's an opportunity to take a hit or give a hit, they'll do it. That's 23, Brendan Gallagher across the line in the attack zone, and he'll wait, and they'll set up the offense. Now working the right side, that's Smith. And Valley making some changes, running some different attackers onto the field. Barnes with it. Barnes shot, and that went wide left and across the street, and a souvenir for the church across the way. And 4 more bodies in, 4 more bodies out for Missouri Valley. 2-1 the score. 7:48 to play until halftime. Goodell back with the ball. He'll carry it across, and play will resume. Top to Barnes, back to 32, Brzezinski. Brzezinski, a little bit of a cycle to Schindel. Behind the crease, and we have a small stoppage in play as Reese took a shot from Smith, and the ball gets turned over to St. Gregory's. St. Gregory's running some players on the field. That's number 2 with the ball now, Matthew Hyde, freshman midfielder. He's a Missouri kid from Republic and from Republic High School. Right side now, running that football sideline is number 15, Garrett Bannister, sophomore, and
Big hit by Albrecht there.
Albrecht with a big hit. Minshall comes away with the ball, and Leg now will carry and wing it across the field. And here comes Valley. It's a 4-on-6, and Daras pulls it back, and he'll run off, and then Valley will change personnel. Behind the cage, now to the right side, that's Smith. Smith to Barnes. Shots and opportunities, few and far between. Not a lot of scoring chances. And once again, these are two teams that are used to putting the ball in the net. Smith looking. Inside now to
Ferrone with the shot.
Ferrone with the shot, and it went wide right.
Valley getting opportunity, just not being able to find the back of the net. Must be, it's frustrating, but Valley looking around. Milani with the ball now.
Milani gets it. Smith couldn't catch it. Pass is kind of low, and there's 3 white shirts, and poor Brandon Albrecht for St. Gregory's is on an island there, and Valley comes away with it. There's a shot, and deflected up high by Reese. And with 5:43, we stay 2-1. Valley shots have come in flurries. That shot wide right. Valley now behind the cage. Behind the crease, in front. Looking for the shot, bounces up high. It goes behind, and Valley maintains. That's Giles Manafo with the ball. Check that, Jack Smith with the ball, number 22. I saw 12 for a second. In front, shot, kicked high. And it goes out of bounds and stays with Valley. Milani running it in. Left side now for Ferrone. To Barnes.
Barnes bringing it back, reset, being able to bring some subs in.
And he'll basically hand it off to number 45, Owen Sorobi. Smith behind Milani. And they'll work it back out and play catch in the left wing. Up top to Schindel. Schindel advancing forward. Now to the right side, to the right of the crease. Good cross pass shot. Save by Tanner Reese once again. Into the attack zone. Ooh, soft pass. And a whistle behind the play. Timeout called by St. Gregory's. 4:11 to play in the half. 2-1 Missouri Valley. And speaking, good possession time by both teams. Shots here and there. Both goaltenders more than up to the task.
Yeah, both of them have stepped up to the task today. Being able to keep level head so far and make the big time saves. Defenses both doing a pretty good job. Valley being able to keep it out of St. Gregory's hands. But both teams have been able to get good looks, then just haven't found the back of the net this quarter.
Both teams, in terms of containing the scoring, that was my question to both coaches before the start of the game. They said a lot of help defense and a lot of staying on your marks. Both teams really accomplishing that very well so far.
Yeah, both teams being, locking down and really keeping up the possession on both ends.
So this game, 4:11 play in the half tonight. It will not be live streamed. The Valley Vikings will play the University of Louisiana.
No, that game actually was unfortunately canceled today.
Okay, so Valley's next game will be the 27th. That's Sunday against Indiana Tech. That's the number 3 team in the nation. St. Gregory's will have Indiana tomorrow, and then they'll go on to play Tulsa on the 30th of March as they continue their tour. But big weekend for both of these schools, all three schools here this weekend. And, the number 3 team in the nation is here in the stands right now watching this one. The number 4 team is in white. The number 9 team is in red. A lot of statement games for all these teams. And we've got a good one here so far. Nice, tight defensive game. Playing so far. There's Smith with the ball. And he has to hand it off. That's Fromdel now working behind the crease. And he's being watched by number 37, Matt Heinzerling. And again, that's Lester. Lester has the goal with a similar play as earlier in the first period where he charged up the right side and slung it in. Here being hounded, tries it again. Ball is loose, knocked away, and Valley and Block come away with it. Chains of possession, and that's Mitchell running forward, and he finally dumps it off, and Smith couldn't catch it. 3 red shirts there against Smith, and the ball goes back to St. Gregory's. Good. Nope, not a good pick. Moving screen by Lester, by Chandler Peterson right in front of us. Chandler Peterson, number 13. That's the goal. I think I said Lester earlier. Chandler Peterson with the goal earlier, and he was called for the illegal screen there. Valley with the ball right side. Up to Barnes. Now the right side. That's Manafo back up top. And they reset. Here comes Barnes charging in. Looking for a lane. Try to make a pass to Manafo and was too high. Giles couldn't corral that one. And the ball goes to the Cavaliers. Walking it up now is Reese. Long pass across the center line. And Fromdel running around, being chased by Legg. Left side now, that's Chandler Peterson. Peterson trips on the line and loses the ball. And Albrecht there to try to get it, and he comes away with it. And here comes Valley. Running it forward, trying to push the tempo a little bit. 1:35 to play in the half. Berg runs it forward, now hands it off. The right side, Smith. And timeout, Missouri Valley. On the clock, 1:25, 2-1 game, scoreless so far this second period.
This is something new for both of these teams this season, going, toe-to-toe, scoreless right now this quarter. Be interesting how the last minute 25 finishes out here and what teams have to do to adjust in the second half to really get the upper hand on one another.
Now, some of these games don't work for the NAIA, but the Cavaliers lost 19-8 to the University of Oklahoma in the second game of the season. Still scored 8 goals, and then lost 16-2 to Metropolitan State College of Denver on the 15th of March. That's the 2 losses. Those are the only games where they've been held to fewer than 10 goals on the season. As much as I'm not on a pace guy, they're on pace for 4. And their big scorer, James Smith, the captain of the Cavalier team, held in check so far by Valley's defense.
Yeah, being held in check, and then the possession time is really key. And it was talked about before the game, but really you're seeing it now. Getting to the possession, getting those shots, every goal is going to be crucial from here on out.
Good, tight defensive game. Played both goaltenders doing their job, and Jack Smith set to resume play. And he'll work it out to Owen Sorobi. Back to Smith. Smith, boy, just good defense. It's number 15, Garrett Bannister there, closing off that lane, and it's a turnover. for Missouri Valley. A lot of turnovers in the first period for Valley. Less this period, but not a lot of chance. At least the chances they've had. Tanner Reese, the Cavalier goaltender, has stood tall. Behind the net, behind the cage, now to the right side, and they bring it out, and that is Chris Lester, freshman midfielder out of Shawnee, Oklahoma. And they'll work it up top. And left side, Smith back to Matthew Hyde. Across to Albrecht. Now behind. There's Fromdel. Smith. And every time Smith touches the ball, leg is right on top of him. Bring it out and reset, and here comes number 2, Hyde, pushing the left side, working it back to the center. Shot and a goal. Matthew Hyde, number 2, ties the game at 2. And we'll look at it here on the replay. And it's, again, a good individual effort by the Cavaliers. Hyde with a goal. We are tied at 2. And it's a brand new ball game. We have 19.1 to go before halftime. Face off now. That's number 18, Chris Lester, and number 16 for Missouri Valley, Tyler Wallenberg. And Valley comes away with it. In the attack zone, a wide pass. Smith tries to pick it up. 5 on the clock. And the ball's loose, and I don't think anyone's going to get a shot off at this point in time. Maybe a long, nope, no longer tip there. We've hit the half. It is a 2-2 game. Missouri Valley College, the number 4 team in the nation. The St. Gregory's University Cavaliers, the number 9 team in the nation. 2-2. We're at the half. We'll take a break, and we'll see you for the start of the third period in just a bit. Welcome back to Greg Mitchell Field inside Volney C. Ashford Stadium. Chaz May alongside Brian McLaughlin with a couple minutes left in the half. A couple notes to pass along first. In baseball, Valley taking on Peru State today. Ken Chiava calling that game on stretch. And Peru right now has a 2-1 lead in that baseball game. Here, we're all knotted at 2. The St. Gregory's University Cavaliers 2, the Missouri Valley College Vikings 2. Valley, the number 4 team in the nation. St. Gregory's, the number 9 team in the nation. Both these teams used to scoring, and we have 4 combined goals through 30 minutes of play. I want to talk briefly about the makeup of the roster. When Kevin Totaro started building this program at Missouri Valley College, a lot of pull from the East Coast. Pull a lot of kids from Maryland, pull a lot of kids from up and down the Eastern Seaboard, Eastern Canada, which is traditionally hockey. Or not hockey. I did it. I knew it was going to be a hockey slip in there. And traditionally, a lacrosse, hotbed for talent. Through the St. Gregory's roster, there are James Smith, Edmond, Oklahoma; Keaton Marzoff, Mustang, Oklahoma; Nathan Foreman, Edmond, Oklahoma; Chandler Peterson, Edmond, Oklahoma; Joey Provost, Edmond, Oklahoma; Chris Lester, Shawnee, Oklahoma; Anthony Robinson, Edmond, Oklahoma. The goalie, who's been phenomenal today, Tanner Reese, Prosper, Texas, which is just north of Dallas a bit. That's not where you think lacrosse. You think Oklahoma, Texas. You're thinking football, not lacrosse.
Yeah, non-traditional lacrosse, areas in the Midwest and down in Texas. Texas is a little bit more up and coming than Oklahoma, but we've seen some really good talent from these Oklahoma kids today.
There are. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've counted this 10 times. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 Oklahomans on this St. Gregory's roster. St. Gregory's, of course, is in Shawnee, Oklahoma. So they're pulling from local kids. But again, it's not a traditional lacrosse, not hockey, lacrosse talent pool. And St. Gregory's staying toe-to-toe with Missouri Valley. And this program has gotten very good. St. Gregory's program has gotten very good very quickly. We are set. Let me transition that off. We are set to start the third period, and St. Gregory's wins the face-off. Matthew Hyde, another Midwesterner from Republic, Missouri. So huge Midwestern influence on the St. Gregory's team, where Valley has much more of an East Coast flavor to its roster.
I think that shows the testament of the growth of Midwest lacrosse, even within the last 2 to 3 years.
And before the game, Coach Kevin Totaro talked about how lacrosse is growing, and there is a nice pool of basically undiscovered talent here in the Midwest, and it seems like St. Gregory's has discovered a pool of talent, especially from Edmond, Oklahoma, where there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players from that town on this roster. Screaming ahead. Oh, what a play by Reese to deflect that and stop that shot by Valley. And the pace quickens immediately in the third period. We're a minute in, and chances around as that is Lester on the right side being watched by number 28, Alex Albrecht.
Reese with a great stop down the other end.
He just basically stuck his cross out, and you're not going to shoot, and the ball ended up in his net. Subs now for St. Gregory's as Robinson marches onto the field, and they look now the right side. That's Richard Fromdel. He's one of the couple from California, and we had a almost flag-free first half, and 1 minute and 47 seconds into the third period, we get a flag, and number 6 for Missouri Valley, Ben Boyer, going off. Well, is he subbing off, or is he in the box?
Looks like Dan Block's going to serve that penalty today.
So Boyer goes off as part of a substitution. St. Gregory's with the ball, and a man advantage. Fromdel to the right side. Robinson shot about 6 feet wide right of the goal. Nothing there for Brandon Minchell to do, but watch it go by. There's a shot. That one crosses in front and is wide, and Robinson will inbound from behind on the left side. Fromdel with it behind the cage. Now the right side, Robinson. Nifty move by Hyde. His shot goes wide. And the Cavaliers will start again. Smith to Hyde. Hyde, little spinorama. And another flag. And ball is loose. There goes Minsel chasing it down, and he kicks it out.
It's going to be something Missouri Valley is really going to keep in check and, nip it right here if they want any chance of being able to win this game. Costly penalties like this is going to cost them in the long run if it continues.
Leg goes off. He's the one that earned that flag. And now Valley has 2 in the box. Fromdel behind to restart. And now a discussion with the scores, and we're set to begin. Whistle blows. 12:20 to play, third quarter. Shot, just off the side of the net. And that was Hyde on that shot. Hyde trying to step up. Fromdel Robinson right in front. That is saved by Minchell. Both goalies have had just a fantastic game today. Minchell works it forward, and that's Jake Berg. And he's going to the left side and bring it across into the attack zone. Left side now for Milani. John Milani getting double teamed, a little trap action there. And he works it ahead to Goodell. Goodell back to Milani. A lot of red shirts on the left side of the field for St. Gregory's. Milani running in circles. Looking for a lane. And then here comes the trap again. 2 players on Milani. Milani's trying to spin out of it. Gets by him. And he's going to go all the way in front. Shot. Score!
Oh.
What a great effort by number 3, John Milani, the senior out of Baltimore, Maryland, who puts Valley back on top 3-2.
Milani being able to break past 2 or 3 St. Gregory's defenders and just kind of place it in there, getting one past Reese to give them a 3-2 lead with 11:21 left to go in the third.
As we're watching it on the replay, Milani basically baited the trap to come to him and then spun out of it, worked his way, no one stepped up, and it was basically a free walk in front of the crease, and Milani notches the goal, and Valley now has a 3-2 lead, and as Brian said, 11:21 to play in the third quarter. Valley got 2 quick goals, not quick, they were scored in rapid succession about halfway through the first period. Nothing in the second period for the Vikings, but they notched their third here now, and Valley, here they come forward again. Back to Milani, left side. For Goodell.
All things back even up now.
Working it behind and working around. Looking for a crease. Milani so far with the go-ahead goal. Goals for Valley by Milani, by Schindel, and that shot is picked up by Reese. Ahead to Hyde. Hyde lost it for a second. And that pass is low. Gets by Fromdel. A flag on the play, behind the play.
Schindel going to get flagged on that one.
Comes up with it. Schindel's going to get flagged and a cross check.
It was a hit to the head. Hold.
They called a hold on Schindel.
Late flag. It looked like baited about calling it on the first hit, but Schindel getting sent to the box there.
So Valley will be a man down again. Schindel scored the first goal for Missouri Valley, and it was Alex Albrecht who got the second goal for them. The St. Gregory's goals by Chandler Peterson, by Matthew Hyde. Top the Lesser, steps forward, shot, and that didn't get through, blocked up front, and Valley works it across the center line into the attack zone. Gallagher with it. And
all things even up again. And another flag.
Another flag behind the play.
All St. Gregory's this time.
No laundry fly in the first half, and Manafo tried a shot, and Reese, I guess, blocked that. And here comes the call. I missed the signal, I guess. Looks like Lester is he subbing out or is he going to the box? No, he's subbing out.
Going to finally be able to take a first look of the day at the Missouri Valley's man-up squad.
Looks like, is that Robinson 51 across the way? It's hard to make out the number.
Looks like that. Austin Schindel behind the X. Passes it to Goodell. Over to Barnes.
Working the right side now. Up top to Barnes. Barnes looking inside. Now they're going to look left. To Schindel. Wicked shot by Barnes. Reese with the save. Ball is loose on the left side, and Valley will control. At halftime and before the game, St. Gregory's head coach, Brian Seaman, working on those types of shots with Tanner Reese. Basically, the last 7 minutes of the halftime was just him whipping the ball at his goaltender and Reese coming away, save after save after save. And we see a similar exercise there. Hard shot from right in front, and Reese was there. And Barnes tries it again. This time, Reese doesn't get it, and it's a 4-2 ball game. Ryan Barnes on the goal, and we'll watch it on the Valley Sports Network replay. The first time, Barnes couldn't get it to go. This time, he does. He solves Reese. It's a 4-2 game.
Barnes with a goal every game this season. First half was kept scoreless, with one of the leading scorers for the Vikings finally gets on the board. 4-2 lead with 8:44 remaining in the third. And it looks like Tyler Wollenberg here for the face-off for Valley.
This is the largest lead of the game for Valley. St. Gregory's has yet to lead. St. Gregory's wins the face-off. Valley comes in, one of the best face-off teams in the nation. St. Gregory's has won probably 60%, maybe 65% of the face-offs today. So St. Gregory's doing a good job of winning those face-offs and starting that possession. Quick shot there and a turnover for St. Gregory's, and Valley will have it. Minshall now to the right side, and there goes leg across the center line for number 32, Brzezinski. And he'll hand off to, that's Smith, it is Smith, and work it back in front. To the side of Milani, and over to Goodell. Goodell being watched by there's a pass right in front that Brzezinski couldn't handle, and it gets turned over. And Joey Provost, the freshman defenseman out of Edmond, Oklahoma, put a lot of pressure on Goodell behind the net. Passes hard, a little high, and Brzezinski couldn't handle it. Fromden now on the right side. Out to number 23, Brendan Albrecht. He's from Coral Springs, Florida. One of those non-Midwesterners on this Cavalier team. Left side now, left wing for the Cavaliers, behind to Fromdel. Out to 16, McCullough, and now in front. There's Robinson. Robinson is shot wide right. And it will stay with the Cavaliers. Play restarts. 7 minutes to play, third period. Robinson with the ball on the right wing. A lot of red shirts on the left side of the field. Robinson's on his own on the right side. And he's being watched by Legg. Shot wide right from Smith. That's one of the few shots that James Smith has taken today. Here comes Fromdel running down the right side, turns, looks, had a brief opening, throws a high lob pass, and it's being chased by a couple players. And St. Gregory's has it momentarily, and then it's picked up by Ben Boyer, and he'll carry it across the center line. In the attack zone, now to the left wing for John Milani. Milani with the go-ahead goal in this period, and he'll bring it back out, and Valley will set up the offense.
It's like a broken stick down the other end that was just moved off by the official there. Interesting to see what comes of that.
Ball in front. Someone went head over Milani. Nice
Manafo.
interception by Manafo. I don't see a player without a stick.
Must have can't. Oh,
That probably went off, yeah. Manafo now juggling the ball behind. And he'll work it to that right side. Barnes, a shot and a goal.
Barnes, second of the day. Valley goes up 5-2 with 5:38 left.
It is his second. It is the second consecutive goal by Barnes. And that's about as close. I'm a hockey guy. That's about as close to a one-timer as you can get for lacrosse. Ball was fed right to him. Caught it, flung it, as you can see on the Valley Sports Network replay, and beats Tanner Reese. And it's now a 5-2 game, 3 goals this period, 5:38 remaining, and a face-off at the center line, and it's a 3-goal advantage for the Vikings as Jake Berg back in there for the face-off. He wins it, and he will run off as Gallagher runs the right side. He hands off, and he's off. And here comes Ferrone.
First face-off win of the second half for Valley. Jake Berg back at the face-off X.
That's Smith behind. And he's being chased by 27, Taylor Marchand. Valley now up top. Here comes Barnes. Boo, Barnes steps forward. There's 1, 2, 3 red shirts immediately stepping forward. There's a shot, and that's by Ferrone that goes wide left. And Valley brings it back in. That is Manafo. He hands it off, and he will go in front. As Ferrone now marches forward. Shot and a score. Greg Ferrone with the goal. And I think he's the only person for a second that realized they went in. Everyone else kind of stood around and watched, and we'll see this on the Valley Sports Network replay. He comes marching forward and whips it in and does a little dance and gets it in. It's now a 6-2 game. We'll take one more look at that as the director did that's me, by the way. The director did a pretty lousy job of setting that goal up in terms of how far he had to come to score that goal. We'll do the face-off first, and then if there's a whistle, we'll show that replay of Ferrone getting the goal. Berg did a lot of dancing with Hyde, and Valley comes away with the ball, crosses the center line. Berg goes off. Barnes with the ball, about 30 yards out, and he'll pitch it back to Ferrone. Ferrone, sophomore out of Orlando, Florida, with Valley's 6th goal on the afternoon, the 4th this period. And he has the ball behind the cage, and a little weave behind. That's Barnes out front now for John Milani, and he fires it home. And all of a sudden, it's raining goals on Greg Mitchell Field. Milani gets his second of the afternoon. It's now a 7-2 game with 3:51 to play, third period.
Milani Milani just ripping the shot there, ends up hitting the bottom right corner for his second in the afternoon.
It's now a 7-2 game, 5 goals this period for Missouri Valley. And it feels like the last few minutes, the field's kind of tilted to the left. Valley, a lot of possession time. Good accurate passes. Berg wins the faceoff, marches forward, and a wide pass. I just said very few turnovers, and then a wide pass, and the ball goes to St. Gregory's. 7-2 the score. 5 third period goals. We have 3:39 to play. And here comes St. Gregory's. This St. Gregory's team can score. They can score in bunches. Only twice this year held the fewer than 10 goals, as Ladd is taking several whacks at Lester as Lester works behind and now up the right side, and he'll give it to Fromdal. Fromdal across the way to McCullough. Right side now for Robinson, and that pass was tipped and turned over back to Valley as Berg running the left side. High pass, and I hear a whistle. Must have been from the stands.
Yeah, it must have been either that or an inadvertent whistle.
Boyer with it. He's being chased by Nathan Foreman. Here comes, that's Barnes once again. 2 red shirts on him, and he'll decide to pull out, whip to the right side, left side. And there's Manafo, I believe, with the shot, and it went wide.
Hit off the goalpost. Milani got it, put it in the net. Doesn't obviously count, but gotta
off the goal, put the soccer goalpost behind.
Yeah. Got to cheer from the fans here. Nice crowd today, by the way, here at Missouri Valley.
There's a fantastic crowd. I'd say a couple hundred people in town. The students off today with the Christian holiday. The Valley closes, and so not a lot of students on campus. A lot of them leaving for the weekend, but good crowd on hand. Oh, big hit and a penalty.
That's going to get a flag there.
And I hope he's okay. That is Jake Henderson. Looks like it took the hit, and it's going to be Giles Manafo is going to go off for that huge hit. Let's see if we can show that on the replay. We'll pick it up, and here is the Valley Sportsnet replay. The ball loose in front, and it comes out, and just a big collision. Pass a little behind him, short, and then, just a big check, and a flag was immediate.
The flag was immediate. I think possibly go without the flag if he has possession, but with nobody having possession on that play, you really can't get away with that. It was one of those momentum-building hits from Valley, and really they've commanded this game with 2 minutes left. Shot goes wide.
1:55 to play. It's 7-2 Valley. Now, logistically, it's the player's making a play on the ball, Manafo makes the hit. Is it one of those situations where you don't want to put is it a penalty that you'd like to take because it's aggressive play and you're going for the ball, or is it a bad penalty because all of a sudden you're a man down and give St. Gregory's a chance, and it's a team that can score, a chance to score with a man up?
It's one of those hits where it can go either way. In this situation, it's a good hit. One, with Valley being up by 5 goals right now. 2, you have the game being a physical game up to that point, letting the hits happen. But it's one of those plays where it gets your team motivated, so it's a good penalty to take.
Okay. Ball loose. Frondel had it, lost it, and Albrecht comes away with it. And he's running the left side, and Lester almost pounding him.
He barely stayed in there.
And timeout, Missouri Valley. 7-2. We have 58.4 to go. This third period has belonged to Missouri Valley. Not a lot of possession time for St. Gregory's, much more possession time for Missouri Valley. One of the things we talked about in the beginning was the impact on possession time from faceoffs, and Missouri Valley has done a fantastic job of winning the faceoffs and controlling the tempo.
Yeah, Valley needs to continue to crave the momentum, keep the possession, and this game will end up being theirs. You know, you have a 5-goal lead right now, almost going into the fourth quarter. If I'm St. Gregory's really wants to crash the net, be able to try to get some shots, get on the board, and as soon as possible to try to mount any comeback that they can right now.
This was a 2-2 game at the half, and goals by Ferrone, by Milani, a couple by Barnes have opened the game up to a 7-2 lead. Less than a minute remains here in the third quarter. And Valley on offense once again, looking for one last tally before the end of the period. And again, all the scoring for Valley came quickly. They scored in a flurry in the first period and scored in a flurry here in the third, and it's been almost an avalanche of goals since that one by Barnes where he ran forward and just whipped it by him. And here's Barnes again he's just going to run around in circles and be chased by everybody in red and pass across, intercepted by Chandler Peterson.
Gonna end up being Valley's ball. Ferrone at the X.
Ferrone brings it in. And Lester and number 15, Garrett Bannister, out to say hello. Ferrone, the top. Good checking. I think that is Peterson. Chandler Peterson on him. Peterson scored the first St. Gregory's goal. And a lot of individual play by Ferrone, and Marzoff and Peterson all over, and the ball stays with Valley.
9.9 seconds left in the third.
They wind the clock. Getting a pick from Smith. Ferrone carrying it 2-1. Not going to get a shot off. He shoots it late, but it wouldn't have counted. So after 3, it is now a 7-2 Missouri Valley College lead. We're off for a second. Back for the fourth and final period in just a moment. Fourth quarter action now, 7-2 Missouri Valley with the lead. 5 third frame goals for the Vikings have opened up this lead. This is a very tightly contested defensive game coming out of the half, and Valley scored 5 that period. And one of the things that Valley did well in that third period was win faceoffs. Valley loses the face-off here. Hyde over to number 16, Sean McCullough, whose shot went wide. So possession time, opportunities to score. St. Gregory's down 5, will look to push on offense. And a wild shot by McCullough. He gets it back on the left side of the cage, now out to Hyde. And they'll reset. Shot by number 10, Smith. Stopped by Minchell. And Smith has been held in check. He has not scored a goal today. This is the guy who's in the last 22 games, 20 hat tricks. That's at least 60 goals in the last 22 games. That's a lot of goals. That's a mind-blowing. That carries over to last season as a freshman. You know, he scored 11 straight hat tricks to close the season. Got the one against Oklahoma State to open the season for the Cavaliers. But 20 of 22 is still phenomenal. And not a goal today. And very few shots and very few opportunities for Smith.
Smith almost a non-factor today for, at least on the offensive end.
Shot
Schindel with the second goal today.
Schindel shoots from right up front and scores. Oh, I wasn't recording. And Valley now has an 8-2 lead on the Cavaliers. Six second half goals have opened it up for the Vikings. And St. Gregory's now needs to push. They need to stop the Viking stream of goals if they're going to mount any kind of comeback. Let's start here with the face-off. Looks like it's Berg's in there against Hyde. It is, and Hyde wins again. Number 1, number 2 face-offs, and the face-off battle by and large has been won by the number 2 guy in the nation, Matthew Hyde, for the Cavaliers. And now that's Peterson with the ball, and he's going to march forward. The first few periods, it looked like the Cavaliers were content to spread it out. There are 4 guys right in front of the net right now. There's number 16, McCullough, and he's going to run around. He's looking for a seam to shoot and loses control of the ball. Being held by Albrecht, can't pick it up, and Robinson trying to chase it down. He can't pull it in, and it goes to, nope, it's going to stay with St. Gregory's. Well, the refs are discussing it. Nope, they're going to overrule. Overrule from the other judge. And it's going to be Valley's ball. It's good. They talked about it. High pass. And that is number 45, Sorobi, who caught it. Block with the ball. Now is Sorobi. And Valley with 12:25 can work some clock. Behind for Goodell. Some player block coming out. And Schindel coming in. Sorobi gets it to Schindel, who just stepped into the attack zone. And he's going forward. 1, 2, 3 red shirts picking up, and a shot that goes wide right. 12 minutes remain. 8-2 our score. Valley controlling possession time. Here's Goodell, pass that Smith couldn't handle, but Valley maintains possession. Shot and a score. Third goal of the game. Austin Schindel gets the hat trick. It's now 9-2.
Schindel, first career collegiate hat trick. You know, family I know is here. It's in town today, so.
And we'll watch the third goal of his first career hat trick on the Valley Sportsnet replay. And he basically just stepped up, whipped it through 3 red shirts, and notches the goal. for Missouri Valley. It's now a 9-2 game for the Vikings. Berg and Hyde set the face off. Now 7 second half goals for the Vikings to take control of this game. Berg. And the Valley had it for a second, but St. Gregory's comes away with it. That is Marchand running the left side, now being guarded by 2 people. Takes a whack from block. A whistle and a timeout for St. Gregory's. St. Gregory's has not been able to do much offensively today, and that's a credit to the way Valley's defense has just manned up and played.
Big game today, by Valley, being able to step up defensively. Minshall been great in net. Big game by Austin Schindel, who just scored his third goal of the game. First semester here at Valley, coming in as a transfer student in January. Really been able to step into the Missouri Valley lacrosse program, into the system, and been a factor since the beginning, really.
Schindel is a freshman from Denver, Colorado, notching his first career hat trick. So good to see the freshman. And these rosters, both for Missouri Valley and especially for the Cavaliers of St. Gregory's, very young rosters. So when you see that kind of success for Schindel from guys like Ferrone, who's a sophomore, Josh Fletcher is a freshman, Ryan Barnes, freshman, Tyler Wollenberg, freshman, Jack Smith, freshman. A lot of freshmen up and down this Valley roster. Sean Goodell, a freshman. Albrecht's a sophomore. So youth there. You go down the Cavaliers roster, and even though the Cavaliers are down 9-2, you go through the roster: freshman, sophomore, freshman. The one junior, Brandon Brackett. I don't think I've called his name today at all. Sophomore, 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 freshman, 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 sophomore, then 4 more freshmen and 1 more sophomore. That's one junior. That's a very young team in a second-year program, and that's the number 9 team in the nation.
Yeah, you're going to see with a lot of these NAIA teams this year and next year, mostly young programs, not a lot of, most of the juniors and seniors either were guys who were pulled from other sports, picked up the sport, or from, have been JUCO players that have come in really. But a lot of youth in these NAIA lacrosse programs, and you're seeing them being a direct factor. Where at some levels, these guys at that freshman, sophomore, class might not even step on the field. And here, NAIA really showing another outlet for lacrosse, and the youth has been huge.
And you bring up the NAIA and the fact that it's showing the youth, and Cavalier coach Brian Seaman said before the game, this is a showcase game for the NAIA. These are 2 really good programs, and then with Indiana Tech here this weekend. And a shot and a score, and
another freshman.
That's number 5, freshman Josh Fletcher. Just went through the litany of scores of the roster for Missouri Valley, and here comes the freshman Josh Fletcher to make it a 10-2 game. And we'll watch how this is set up on the Valley Sportsnet replay. A pass right in front. Barnes feeds it back to the wing, and Fletcher drives it home. 10-2 the score.
Valley really putting the nail in the coffin there, per se. 10:29 left. Plenty of time left for St. Gregory's, but you would have to think a St. Gregory's comeback now would be a monumental collapse for the Vikings.
It would require a lot, but this, again, St. Gregory's team can score and score in bunches. But to do that, they need to have possession of the ball. And right now, that belongs to Missouri Valley as Berg running forward. Berg, 1-on-5, he pulls it back out and hands it off to Smith. And Smith is going to get hacked at by number 15, Garrett Bannister. A lot of youth, a lot of showcasing for the NAIA. Again, 3 very good programs here this weekend. This is the only game that we are live streaming on Valley Sportsnet, but that should not stop people from coming out and watching some very good lacrosse. 10 to the score, 9:45 remains. Valley with possession. Possession time right now, huge for both teams. St. Gregory's the short side of it, Valley the back of it, and a tip-in goal.
That was a hockey play right there.
That was a
I've
hockey
seen one
play.
all day.
Jack Smith one times it in. Number 22 gets the goal. It's an 11-2 game. That was we'll watch it here on the Valley Sports Network replay. As the play worked behind, and that's Ferrone, and I don't know that Smith ever really caught that ball. I think he used the hatch and just knocked it in and batted the ball in out of the air. Timeout on the field. It's 11-2. Valley on top. It's a 9-goal lead. All 9 goals. The 9 goals are the lead coming in the second half. This is a 2-2 game at halftime. And it was a very
crazy
highly defensive, contested game.
It's crazy to think, coming into the second half, 2-2, highly contested defensive game, and it's really been all Valley here on out.
Second half has belonged to Missouri Valley in terms of goals, in terms of possession times, in terms of everything that Valley would want to do in terms of controlling the tempo, controlling the pace of the game, and we've mentioned it a few times here and there. I thought a name I would call all afternoon, number 10, the captain for the Cavaliers, James Smith. I have hardly had a chance to mention his name. That's how much Valley has contained his efforts today. So Berg set the face off. And that's number 18, Chris Lester, in the face-off X for the Cavaliers right now. As the ball gets placed. And we're set to play, and Berg draws it back, and Valley controls. Block with it. And 3 red shirts came to trap block, and by the Cavaliers with 9 minutes to go and down 9 will be aggressive. Try to get a pick from Milani, and a flag comes flying in on the near side.
Looks like it's going to be a push from behind, possibly, as Manafa was pushed into the crease, and the flag went up immediately after.
So it is a push, and that's not what St. Gregory's needed with 9:05 remaining in the game, down 11-2.
Missouri Valley's man ups come back on again. I think this believe only the second to third time all afternoon. With scores on there with Barnes, Ferrone, Schindel with a great game today. Owen Sowerby, who has not really got on the scoreboard today, could potentially get on the scoreboard here. I think he has 1 assist on the afternoon.
That is Schindel with the hat trick, who had the ball a second ago. He gets it back right in front. Right in front. That's a nice play. Number 22, Jack Smith, gets the goal on a nice bit of passing from the Missouri Valley side. And it's now a 12-2 game. And we'll watch that bit of passing on the Valley Sportsnet replay. Schindel just right in front, and nothing that Tanner Reese could do.
Now Smith, back-to-back goals here. It's 8:51 left, 12-2 game. Valley on its way to being 3-0 in the KCAC conference and taking sole possession of first place in the KCAC and making a case to go into the top 3 of NAIA.
And in that regard, they would hand the Cavaliers its first KCAC loss on the season. It is 12-2 Vikings. Berg with it. Berg running forward. Berg passed to try to find Manafo, and it was a little bit wide. It's a turnover. There was a similar play to that in the third period with a similar result where Berg went charging forward, tried to find Manafo on the wing and couldn't do it. Or it was wide. Here comes St. Gregory's. Needing to chip away and quickly, 8:23 remaining. That pass is high, and it's going to be a turnover, and Valley's going to retake possession as the ball gets worked to leg.
Andrew Legg, finesse right there at its finest. Spins around two defenders and has really shown the strength of these deep holes. They're able to push it up and give Valley another offensive possession.
There's Fletcher, who scored a few moments ago. 10 second half goals for the Vikings. 7:40 remains in the game. That's Ferrone being chased, and he's 1-on-4. Tries an over the shoulder. He gets dumped by Peterson.
Still a fairly physical game.
These Cavalier
Yeah,
teams
late hit there.
A flag behind the play. They're going to call Milani, I think.
Feel like that wasn't even that. It was just late. It was up in the head region, and Milani's going to be sent off. He's wondering where the flag came from, but clearly a flaggable play right there.
St. Gregory's.
That's something you don't need from Valley either.
Not with 7 minutes to play in the game and up 10, I wouldn't think. Inside now, there's Smith. Smith, 4 white shirts on him right away as soon as he touched the ball. As soon as the ball was near his cross, Valley collapsed on him. And there's possession by Valley, and it's going to be...
If there's any negative takeaway that Valley takes and Kevin Totaro takes away to his team after the game, it's the penalties in some aspects. Some of these penalties have been not their fault, but a penalty like that, you really can't take that. When you're up 10, this game's really running away.
And it's behind the play.
Yeah.
So Milani's going to go off, the senior from Baltimore, and Valley will be a man down. And that's a chance. 10 goals in 6:43 seems pretty monumental, but it opens the door for the Cavaliers. And here they come marching forward. Peterson now to the right side for Hyde, to Robinson. They'll work it behind for Fromdel. Out to James Smith. Smith, very few chances today for the captain of this Cavalier team. Hyde behind to Fromdel, to Robinson. Working out of the right side, back to Fromdel, to the goal line. And a whistle. And now a discussion. The ref's going to talk to the scorers table. And both coaches looking on, wondering what's going on. Good crowd on hand as we scan around the crowd.
Touching in on that baseball score from earlier, after 5, Peru State has really opened up the game. It's an 8-1 lead after 5 innings.
So it's a baseball score. Ken Chiava has that game on stretch. Here, 12-2, 6:30 remains in our final period. And the discussion now is complete, and we're getting set to play once again. St. Gregory's with a man up. Fromdel on the right side of the line. Work behind. That's Smith. Smith to McCullough. And they work it now to Hyde. Hyde, right side. There's Smith right away. That was Brzezinski who stepped up to meet Smith on the right side of the crease. Immediately, the second he touched it, there was a white shirt in his path. High pass. Smith is going to catch it. And he's now on the left wing. And back up top to Chris Lester, freshman out of Shawnee, Oklahoma. Right side now to Hyde. Back to Fromdel. Hyde shot and a save by Minshall. Good possession by the Cavaliers. Got the shot, just a good save. And a momentary turnover as Manafo has the ball after Valley got it back. And That's Sorobi with the ball. Now here come two players, and he just rolls it out for Schindel. 5 minutes remain. Oh, that was a heck of a pretty pass and a great idea. Valley maintains possession as Manafo has it on the right wing.
Brzezinski wanted that on that, just kind of just tomahawking it down, not able to find the net, but it was a good attempt there.
Ball is free. Lester looking for it, can't corral it. Attempt at a shot was almost fanned on. And here come the Cavaliers. Pass out. There's McCullough. It's 2-on-3. Now 3-on-3 as I think it's Hyde stepped into the play, but McCullough keeps it behind the net. Now the wing for Smith. It's going to be hard for Smith to score from out there. Here comes Hyde at the top, about 30 yards out. 4:04 to play. Losing the ball there, the Cavaliers, and that's Jake Berg running away with it. And he'll feed it back to Heinzerling. And here come the Vikings up the right side.
Sorobi bringing it up here now.
And Vikings keeping possession, withstanding the Cavalier offensive possessions as Smith will walk with it. Up top, hands it to Barnes. Sorobi going off. And Ferrone comes in, and Barnes rolls it out to Ferrone. Behind now, the right side for Smith. Smith, I think he was looking for a cutting Fletcher. Fletcher didn't cut, and over and back, basketball term. The possession goes to the Cavaliers. I think he was looking for Fletcher to cut out, and Fletcher stopped, and there went the ball. Cavaliers with possession. Less than 3 minutes on the clock. They're down 10. Robinson with it, and he cycles up front. Looking for, didn't get the pick from McCullough. And he hands it off to McCullough. He uses Hyde as a screen, works behind. There's Fromdel. Behind the back. The shot was wide. And inbounding will be McCullough. Jake Henderson with it. He marches forward. Shot. That's a pass to the right side, out to Fromdel behind. Fromdel again, looking. There's Smith. Smith shot and a save by Minchell. He's had a couple of them. Hasn't put it in the net, and a wild pass from Minchell. Overshot. I can't tell who, number 23. Overshot Gallagher. And possession goes back to the Cavaliers, and they'll get another chance with 2 minutes exactly on the clock. Ball is loose. Nifty little bit of footwork and stick work by Lester. They come with it back to McCullough. Block. Chasing Albrecht. Get to Fromdel. Now to Lester. Lester has one of the two goals. Sorry, that's Peterson. Peterson has one of the two goals.
Smith
the 18 and the 13 have gotten backward all day today. Smith with another chance and went wide.
So one of the first times we've seen Smith really get a good look at the net and wasn't able to convert it, showing how good the defense for Valley has been today.
Peterson out to Smith. McCullough. Coming up on 1 minute to go in the game. And what has been just a dominant second half for the Missouri Valley College Vikings.
Missouri Valley going to be able to come away with this one back in action on Sunday. St. Gregory's really needs to be able to take this loss, put it in the back of their heads, and get ready for Indiana Tech tomorrow afternoon.
Albrecht.
What a pass by Albrecht!
A pass from his backside to Manafo. And Valley scores one more time. It's now 13-2. And that's the second pretty spectacular individual effort by Albrecht. As we watched on the Valley live stream replay, he goes marching forward a good 40 yards, gets checked, passes from his butt, and Manafo puts it home. 13-2, and we have 39.8 to go in the game. Good effort by Hyde, kicking, trying to keep the chance alive for St. Gregory's to come away with it, and the Cavaliers do. There's Chris Lester with it on a pass and almost intercepted, finally taken away by Heinzerling. And Valley controls 15 seconds to go. 13-2 the score. And it's been all Missouri Valley here in the second half. Smith running on behind, 3, 2, 1 on the clock, and that'll do it. 13-2, the number 4 Missouri Valley College Vikings defeat the number 9 St. Gregory's University Cavaliers. 13-2 is our final score. Final thoughts as we wrap it up.
Great win by Valley. St. Gregory's, like I said a little bit earlier, needs to be able to kind of put this one behind them and come out tomorrow strong against Indiana Tech. And Valley, great job today. 3-0 in the conference, first place in KCAC. Be interesting to see how they do with their, one more league home game, and then they're off.
One more home game. Valley plays Indiana Tech on Sunday. St. Gregory's gets them tomorrow. For Brian McLaughlin, I'm Chaz Manny for Felix Alvarado on camera. 13-2, Missouri Valley College defeats St. Gregory's. Thanks for watching, everyone. This was a lot of fun. Our next Missouri Valley College broadcast of lacrosse will be April 16th as the Vikings take on St. Louis University. For Brian and for Felix, I'm Chaz. Have a good afternoon. Happy Easter. Thank you very much.